Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost. Thank you so much for being on my channel where we are talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And I want to talk today about why you should not live in fear of the narcissist. Contrary to popular opinion, where there are experts saying, don't tell the narcissist you know. You know, I'm not saying you should call them out because they're dangerous, right? But honestly, I've called out some of the biggest demons on the planet and they didn't care. They already know what they are. But here's the thing. They feed not just off your energy, but off your pain, your trauma, and your fear. Every time you live in fear, guess what? It's like putting gas in their energy. Don't live in fear of the narcissist. It's recorded hundreds of times in the scriptures. So in the Bible, for example, it says, do not be afraid. That's where the devil lives, in your fear, in your trauma, in your temptation to abandon yourself, to not choose the light, to not choose your power, your strength, and your freedom. Do not be afraid. Now, are there traps, really sticky situations, these awful people put you in? They're not actually people, by the way. One of the biggest mistakes we make is, as I keep saying, projecting empathy, projecting emotions on them. Even the people talking about this seem to contradict themselves all the time. The narcissist has a fragile ego, but they're an egomaniac. They're an egomaniac. Their ego is not fragile. The narcissist secretly, when no one sees, lives in shame and fear and self-hatred. No, they don't. They want you to think that they have no shame. They function perfectly after all the devastation and destruction they cause. The thing that we can't get our head around is how can a person want destruction? Why do they not want harmony? Why don't they want win-win situations? Because their ability to destroy everything in your life is what they get off on. They don't care even if it shoots themselves in the foot. You'll see it. So you can't understand them from humanity because they're devoid of humanity. Remember, a soul-detached human operating from an entity of consciousness called narcissism that is exactly the same as everything that we've talked about over ancient wisdom of demons and dark energy and all that stuff. That's where they are. So look, practically, there's going to be stuff in your life. I've had it in business. I've had threats. I've been pushed out of a community because I was harassed and bullied and gang stalked. I understand. But guess what? I left those things, right? I cut my losses. Why? Because I will not live in fear for anything. The narcissist is not my God, and I value my freedom over everything. Plus, I also understand that sovereignty and being actually true to your divinity is your sovereignty, right? So therefore, my relationship with myself has to come first in some ways. You know what I mean? And therefore, if I'm being motivated by fear of the dark and what they could do to me, that's not my motivation. Now, I have helped coach people through things like divorce, through difficult partnership situations, because narcissists put you in trap. But here's the thing. Your fear is clouding your judgment. Every single person I've helped navigate a tricky situation, guess what, was not looking at it objectively. The fear, the illusion, this is what the narcissist does. They're master magicians. The illusion of what could happen to you is what they've made you believe. The reality is far simpler. In fact, even in divorce, if you've got young children, it's a little bit different. But in divorce cases, if it went straight to a judge, it goes down the middle. That's the worst case scenario. I teach my clients, get out of the emotion. We regulate the emotion and we look objectively. Because when you look objectively, factually, not from the fear and terror they've installed in you, you can actually see the worst case scenario and work from there. At that point, you take all your power back and you know what you're dealing with and you know what you're navigating. But like a lot of the way that people's lives get even more destroyed in these cycles is because you're so afraid that you're giving your power away. You're not actually forming a good argument in court. You're not forming a good argument, a strong argument, because you're so terrorized, you're just reacting to what they are wanting you to believe and feel. And so you didn't get the best case for yourself, right? Do not live in fear. And guess what happens when you call a narcissist? If they know what one is, they often think it's funny. If they don't, I mean, they might have a tantrum about it, but honestly, this advice, be really afraid when the narcissist knows you know. This is fueling the wrong side. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid at all. Connect to your divinity, connect to your power, connect to your human right to freedom and self-expression. There is no point. I teach you all the time. The best way to win with a narcissist is not to play. But I will also teach you not to live in fear of anything on this universe. It's against spiritual principle. It's against your true nature. And when you give your power away, you end up helpless and powerless, right? Your power is not for sale, and nor is your freedom, and nor is your soul. Think about it, right? There's no point telling a narcissist they're a narcissist. When we do that, it's often because we're wanting them to heal. But you have to understand how the dark side works. They think they're better than you. They don't give a shit what you think. My ex used to say that to me. He used to say, I don't care what you think about me. And I used to think, because I've obviously always been a trainer and I've helped a lot of people with development, I used to think what he meant, because we project ourselves on them, right? We can't imagine how horrible they are. I used to think, well, maybe he just means that people's opinions don't affect him in that way. Telling an intimate partner you don't care what they think and feel in relation to you is a complete problem. The people that you're in relationship with, close ones, should care about how you feel about their impact on you massively, right? I don't know why. I used to think it was strange, but I didn't. He was just telling me who he was. They will tell you who they are. They'll also lie and play into an illusion. But remember, you live in a joint fantasy with a narcissist, not a joint reality. So at some point, it's like whatever you're resisting is what you're really afraid of in yourself and in the world, right? Sometimes we cling on because we don't think we'll meet anyone else, or there's something we think they give us that no one else can. Because once you know what they are, there's no reason to limit your potential because of fear. You've got to look objectively. You've got to process the emotions. You've got to learn manifestation, and you can create. If you can join, I've got two things. Live Fully Now, which is a membership. It's $55 a month, and I'm talking about manifestation and living fully now. And there's tools and things to help you manifest your best life. And Sovereign, which goes through 6 modules of completely deep trauma release. But beyond that, energetic work, fast work that will give you the tools to live a sovereign life, to be in what I call self-focus, self-partnership, and self-sourcing, right? Do not live in fear. Most of what you're afraid, what does fear stand for? F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. Now, fear is not a reason not to go towards your dreams and your destiny. Fear is what snatches them, right? The devil is a dream snatcher. Right? So therefore, I believe everything that is here for you is meant for you. Now, all emotions are messengers, but fear is not a message not to go ahead. It's a message that you might need to let go of some limiting beliefs, or there's something you believe about it where you've got to kind of reconcile in yourself, right? Your thoughts, beliefs, and actions with what your heart wants. But you didn't really come on the planet to live in suffering. You didn't come to be afraid of the big bad wolf, which is the narcissist, whose power completely depends on you fueling their power, being afraid of them. When you're no longer afraid and you're prepared to do what it takes for your freedom, you will have a life beyond your wildest dreams. Here's the trade-off. It's not even like a little bit better. When you break free, it's like a whole new world is waiting for you. A world where you can actually create what you want. If you're willing to stand for it, if you're willing to decide, if you're willing to choose yourself and choose what you believe in, your heart. There is no love in a narcissistically abusive relationship. There is no joy to be had. And there's just yourself, your potential, your dreams, your authenticity, and everything you came to experience on the planet up for sale. That's not a life worth living, right? So if you say, well, I want happiness, I want joy, I want love, I want connection, then it's our job to live fully now and be the angelic match in the universe. And it's also our job we don't want to live in fear of the narcissist. Yes, they're monsters because they are spiritually, emotionally corrupt. They're the most corrupt entities on the planet. As I say, it's a distortion spiritually. It's like a computer virus that's getting too much power right now because everyone's in fear of it and not seeing the light. The light is all their power relies on us giving it to them. Without that, that big mask. It's like in the, the Wizard of Oz, when he's behind the little man behind that big screen and pretending to be all grandiose. That's the fucking narcissist, right? Treat them like the little child they are. They're not childish though. I don't like narcissists being compared to children, because their behavior is destructive, and that children are never that destructive, right? Because they're narcissist ones. But like, unless they're actual narcissists themselves, children, this behavior isn't childish, it's dark. It's demonic, it's evil, it's destructive, it's vile, it's manipulative, it's just the worst type of thing to experience. When you come out of it, you're like, how on earth did I even stay in that? That's just not even life. That is chaos, disruption, misery, self-erosion, the worst things we can experience. Now, on the other side of that, yeah, you've got a bit of healing to do, but there's peace, there's freedom, there's liberation, there's excitement, there's joy, there's true intimacy, there's true connection, there's true love, there's true vision, there's true life. There's actual life, because what they kill is your life force, right? What they make you do is disconnect from your own soul. So I hope that helps, guys. Lots of love. I'll speak to you soon.